Hello everybody and welcome to Q&A week in Trailblazer world. What is Q&A week? So I decided that this week I'm going to go live in my Facebook group every single day, and I'm going to answer one question that has been submitted by you guys. So these are just going to be fluff questions. These are going to be things that have come straight from your own concerns, straight from your own fears, straight from your own experience of wanting to start that business that you want to start on the side or full-time. You just want to get started and you're really looking for guidance. Okay, just tell me how. So this is a kind of coaching that I do with my own clients. But in order for any of you to even be ready to start with a coach, to really start putting the pedal to the metal in your business, you need to get these questions answered so that you know which path to follow. So that's the purpose of Q&A week, for you guys to get your questions answered and get you ready for 2020, when you're actually going to start your business, replace your salary, so that you can do whatever you want. So I am hailing you here from my home. I am in my dining room right now, and it's Monday, which means that I have my son. My son is 2 years old. His name is James. He's awesome, and he is going down for a nappy right now. And if you can see the video version of this episode, you can see my baby going down right now in his little crib. So I'm gonna keep him here. He's gonna go down with no problem. He's a very good sleeper. So this is basically what I do. I work at home. I have my son 2 days a week, and then the other 3 days he's at daycare or with a grandparent, and I get to have meetings, go off and teach classes, and do whatever it is that I want to do to make money. And every week is interesting. Every week is something different. This is actually something that I just finished talking to a couple of my graduated clients last week about, which is to create promotions, to create opportunities for people to know what it is that you're about, so that they know that you are an option when they're looking for a solution to a problem. So I just finished my engagement with 2 of my clients. They graduated from my program, and I couldn't be more excited for what's to come for them. And I did a little party for one of my clients, Patty Schmuck. She is a suicide loss empowerment coach. She helps people who have lost a child to suicide. This is part of her story. This is how she wants to contribute to the world. And we just finished setting up her business, and her website is so much better than any other website of anybody else doing the same thing out there. We just finished it. It just went live last week. I am so proud of her. If you want to check it out, you have to go to HTTP. Why am I saying HTTP or www? Everybody knows to go there. Go to fromgrievingtoliving.com, and you will get to see Patty's brand new online presence. My other client that I'm yet to do a little party for her in the Facebook group, and I will exclusively for her. Her name is Petek Tatli. She is from Turkey. She's in Thailand right now, and she helps women with a condition called vaginismus. This is also part of her story. She wanted to turn around and help people who are suffering from the same thing that she did and help them cure it. And her online presence is amazing as well, and you can go check it out at yeswecancure.com. These are websites that, with their creative input, with their stories, with their copy, they write down their entire story. They write down how they help clients, and I go and I developed it for her. We developed the concept of the site together with their photos, and we put something together that they would be really happy with. They created their freebies during my program. They learned how to put themselves out there. They started doing Facebook Lives, which, especially for Petek, this was something that was nerve-wracking for her to even go live, and now she goes and does it. I've been so proud to see their progress, and now they've just passed that milestone where their business is a thing now. They can be Googled, right? People can find them. They can go and give that website to anyone, and they can download information, which gets them into their mailing list so that they can start creating an online audience. And now they have their Facebook pages, and they're going to be creating their Facebook group. Petek already has a Facebook group where she has a few people in there, and she can start engaging with women who are suffering from this condition. Like, they both are set up to start running their business and spend the rest of 2020 getting clients and replacing their salaries. Like, that's it. This is what I do. This is what gets me to wake up in the morning, is to help people set up their online presence so that they can just go off and behave like a business from that point forward. All right. There's no more guesswork. There's no more when am I going to have time to do this. We just get it all done in 3 months. And I wanted to tell you that my program is now available as a group experience, which means that you get to actually know each other and support each other. And that opens in January. I am taking applications through December 31st. The program is called Be Found, and it is basically a new business bootcamp. All right. It is work. It is something I want you to be devoted to for 3 months to get this done so that at the end you have your online presence, you know how to market yourself online, and you can go off and do your promotions. So what you're watching me do right now, this is a promotion. So I love promotions because every week I get to think of something different to put out there to give you guys something that you need and to get attention to things that, you know, I want you to know that are happening, like my program starting in January to set up your business, right? So I love my business. I love how life is. And this is what I want for you guys, this flexibility. In fact, I'm actually doing a partnership with Staples. If you guys don't know, I teach podcasting classes in the Boston area. And you can find the classes yourself by going to podcastingclassesinboston.com. You can see where I'm going to be showing up in the Boston area. And I have a deal with Staples, and we're working together on this thing that I can't tell you anything about right now. But last week I found myself going there for a 10 o'clock meeting. So I dropped off my kids, and then I got on 93, right, the highway that gets me into Boston, and I was stuck in traffic. And I'm like, oh my God, I am so glad that this is not my life anymore, commuting into the city every single day. I'm doing this because I want to, because there's something at the end of it for me, not just something at the end for them. So I was strangely happy to be stuck in traffic because I was happy that this was not something I was doing every single day. If you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So yeah, that was like a light bulb moment, like, oh my God, I can't believe that this is my life now. The commute is something of the past, that I wake up every day and I get to work right here with you guys, with my son who just triumphantly fell asleep. He just moved. Yeah, his feet are off the bed. He'll figure it out. See? He's figuring it out. So this is what I want for you guys. And this is why I come here and I talk to you guys about all of this. So I see Avery. Hi, Avery. Nice to see you. So Q&A week is one of my promotions, right? So I'm going to come and just answer your question. So if you have a question that you want me to add to Q&A week, just type it up in the group. For anybody listening to this on the podcast, all you have to do is go to inacoveney.com/Facebook. That's the Facebook group. And just post a question in there and say, this is for Q&A week. What, blah, blah, blah. What is your burning question? What do you really want to know about doing this full time? Okay? Or doing it on the side. Okay. Today's question is, how much of an online presence do you need if you only plan on having local in-person clients? Okay? So why don't we start with, what's the difference between an online business and a local business? All right. So I'm actually going to break that up into even 3 pieces, right? Because it's possible to have a local business that is also online. So you have an online business, you have a local, like purely local business, and then you have a local business online. What is the difference between all of these? Simply the way that you're marketing yourself, right? Where the client is located, right? If your clients are all local, because your product is exclusively local, then you have a local business, right? It depends on the product that you provide. If you provide an online course, it doesn't really matter where your audience is, right? But if you are providing Reiki energy sessions, you need to be in front of the person to do it. So that's a local business, all right? So why do we need to make a distinction between a local business and an online business? The truth is that you don't. Being online is a way to market yourself. It's not just a way to deliver a product. So if you have a product that is exclusively local, there is nothing stopping you from also having your business online, right? Either by having online products, right, for a global audience, or just marketing yourself on the internet. So the reason I wanted to kind of hammer that down is because I want you guys to know that there is really no distinction. If you have a local business, you probably should be marketing yourself online, period, because that's where people live. That's how people vet different products. That's how people go and find out what other products are out there. People just live online. Gone are the days that people are searching through their mail for, throwaway mailers to see who they're going to go with their next service. They get recommendations by word of mouth. They get recommendations by, foot traffic, right? If you have a brick and mortar businesses, I pass by that thing all the time. People watch a van with a phone number, right? So for local businesses, those are ways to get clients. But think about the last time that you hired a local service. How did you hear about them? Did you Google them? Did you go on Google Maps and see what plumbers that are in your area? Did you get a recommendation by word of mouth? How did you find out about that person? I'm going to tell you right now, I found my plumber by going to Google Maps and saying plumber, right? You find businesses online, all right? So being local does not preclude you from being part of the online community. That's the first step, but it doesn't really answer how much investment should I have on my local business online if I'm only having local online clients. That's what I want to get to in a second. So think about your own client, all right? Think about how they find the type of service that you provide. So this is part of the market research that you should be doing for your business anyway, whether you're local or online. How are people finding people like you? Are they Googling it? Are they going to Google Maps and looking it up? Most of the time, local businesses get business by word of mouth referrals. And guess what? Online businesses work that way too, right? Not everybody finds me through a Facebook ad. A lot of people find me through word of mouth. So word of mouth is extremely powerful no matter what kind of business you have. So think about how people are going to vet you, okay? Suppose that they went online. They went to Google Maps or they went to Google and they typed Reiki energy near me. All right. And they found it. Okay. The first thing they're going to notice is that there's a lot of you out there, right? There's 5 Reiki masters in my 5-mile radius. How do I choose between them? Aha. This is where your online presence kicks in. It's not how people really find you necessarily, because being on Google Maps doesn't even mean that you need a website, doesn't even mean that you need anything else, doesn't mean that you need an Instagram account, right? You just need an entry on Google Maps. So suppose that they found you. How do they vet you versus everybody else? Guess what the first thing people are going to do is they're going to check out your website. Okay? So if I'm looking for a Reiki master, first thing I'm going to do, go to Google Maps. I found a few near me. I'm going to click on their website and I'm going to check out a few of their websites. Now, suppose that I have 2 of them in front of me, okay? Somebody who had the mentality, who had the mindset that for a local business, I don't really need more than just a picture, my hours, and how to contact me on my website, okay? So it's basically what I call a business card website. It's just you go there and you find me, you find my name, and you find my phone number, and you find my email address. Boom, business card, right? That's somebody who was thinking that they don't need to invest in their online presence in order to have a local business, all right? And if you talk to them, they'll back that up. They'll say, well, most of my business comes from word of mouth anyway. Same will be for you. You will get a lot of business through word of mouth. What they don't know, and they can't tell you because they literally don't know, is how much business they have lost because their online presence was not up to par from somebody else's online presence. They have no idea how many business opportunities they have lost. That's why they will tell you, well, I don't get a lot of my business online anyway, So why would I invest in it? It's kind of like the chicken and the egg. It's a vicious cycle. If I don't have a good online presence, people are not going to buy my services when they find me online. So from my experience as a service provider, the only thing I experience is, oh, people just come to me through word of mouth. Why do I need to invest on a website anyway? Do you see what I mean? So you can go and talk to a whole bunch of other, Reiki, energy teachers, and they're going to tell you the same thing, right? I don't need to invest on my website because most of my clients come up from word of mouth. And then you have those people who did not see it that way. Then you have those people who say an online presence is key to my growing in this business and becoming an authority in my field. These people figured out that if they're going to have a website at all, if they're going to be found online, there's got to be a hook in there for people who actually find them online. All right. So they're going to have something that is called a freebie. And if you want to refer back to a previous video right here in the group, I recorded one last week and I will tag it right here in the comments where I talk all about what a freebie is and how you set one up. Okay. So they set up a freebie, right? Suppose that they are a plumber, right? So you go to their website and then the first thing you see is the 7 deadly mistakes that people make when hiring a plumber. All right. I'm going to download that because I'm looking for a plumber and I don't want to make a mistake because I'm confused about who to pick, right? I'm just choosing basically about who has the best business name, right? Oh, I like Universal Plumbers Incorporated because they sound really official, right? But these other people say, Joe Schmo Plumbing, which means that it's probably going to be more personal. I don't know. So I'm going to go and download that. And guess what? That gets me into their mailing list. So now they know that I'm a captive audience. Now they know that I am a warm lead. I'm someone who needed plumbing services and who was looking for a good plumber. So now that I'm in their mailing list, they're able to send me information about how to keep my pipes in great shape for the winter, right? And this is a local business, right? They know that I'm in Boston. Therefore, I'm going to need winterization of my pipes or, to keep them clean or to, what happens if we get an Arctic blast? How do you make sure your pipes are not going to burst, right? That's the kind of relevant information that would come right straight into my inbox. And now that I know who they are and they're sending me all this valuable information, they're going to be the first people that I think about when I want to go and buy services. So people with a really good online presence are going to tell you, 50% of our business comes from online. People with a bad online presence or that did not really bank on people finding them online and wanting to choose them based on their online presence, they're just going to tell you, oh, people don't find me online at all anyway. It's just by word of mouth. They have no idea all the business that they're missing out on. They just have no clue. There's no way for them to know. All right. So don't listen to them. Listen to the people who have a really strong online presence and ask them how much business comes from your website. Now make sure that their online presence is actually up to snuff, right? Make sure, they have an Instagram account, that they have a Facebook page, that they have reviews on their Facebook page, right? People don't just go and review businesses on a Facebook page. By the way, they ask for it, which means that they are taking care of their online presence like nobody else is, okay? So people who really invest in it see the fruits of it and see the benefits of it, okay? So that's how people vet you. Comparing one person versus the other, one website versus another, one online presence versus another. All right. Another thing that having a really strong online presence does for you is it immediately gives you permission to increase your prices, to charge more. Because what happens if I find exactly the same businesses, right? I find the plumber's website that is beautiful, that caught my eye, that made me enter my email address, right? That is like, whoa, right? Versus somebody else who's just like a one-pager, your photo and your information. What am I going to think about the quality of the product automatically? That's just the way the brain works. I'm immediately going to think that the plumber with the best online presence is going to be more pricey. And that's not a bad thing. because it allows you to really charge the prices that you're worth. The other person is probably struggling in their business and giving out a lot of discounts just so that people can get into the door, right? You want to be the business that thrives, the business that has a wait list, the business that everybody is pushing to work with. And you don't do that by looking like the dinky version of this scenario. You're not doing yourself any favors. All right? A business is a business. This is not a charity. You want to make money. You want to replace your salary. You got to be charging the right prices. And people are not going to pay the right prices if your online presence looks like that. Okay? They're only going to do it if they believe that it's worth it and it looks like you take really good care of your business. And guess what? Having a great online presence, having a great website, it doesn't mean that you have a whole team of people. It doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, that's going to be a bigger company. No, in your about page, in your homepage, you can still have just yourself and be like, hi, this is my business. I'm going to take care of you. I'm the one who's going to answer the phone, right? This is something that I learned. I've been making websites for a very long time, right? Since I was in college, 20 years, right? I've been making websites for a really long time. And something that I notice every time that I make a website is I go to websites that I love. And I ask myself, what did they do to make me feel that way? To make me feel like this is a great experience? What did they do? And I'm going to tell you what, I can always replicate it. Because if you have somebody that knows about websites and knows how to make that stuff happen, there's nothing that you can't replicate on your own website. Okay? It doesn't take spending tens of thousands of dollars on a website. You can actually just get this done much more inexpensively. And this is what my program in January does for you. I'll create the website for you with all of my knowledge, my 20-year knowledge on making websites, and make it perfect for you, right? Without you having to spend tens of thousands of dollars on it, which, by the way, is what this kind of service is worth. Right now, I'm going live with a website that was purely a website client, and I gave them my hourly rate. And so far, they have probably spent with me close to $15,000 on their website. My program, it's much more inexpensive than that. And that's because I provide the website as a side benefit to my coaching clients. I no longer make websites by the hour, okay? Because trading our time for money is just something that you really want to get out of. You want to help as many people as you can with all your skills. All right. So going back to the topic of local business versus online business, and do you need an online presence for it? Okay. So suppose that you don't believe anything I say. Okay. Suppose that you say to yourself, yeah, but my clients are local. I don't really need to speak to a global audience. Okay. I'm going to go down that path right now. What are your alternatives for marketing yourself if you're not going to do it online? Word of mouth, you guys, word of mouth is a given. The more clients you have, the more clients are going to talk about you, and you're going to get it. This is not something that, you could create incentives for people to talk about you, but it's something people are just going to do anyway, right? So there's very little control that you have over the word of mouth effect. The other ways to market yourself. As a local business, if you're not doing it online, if you're not doing Facebook ads, if you're not having a great online presence, if people can't find you on Google Maps and then take a look at your website, what are the other ways to market yourself? I guess you could do mailers, right? Which in my house, they go straight to the trash. Whole magazines, they just go straight to the recycling bin, right? So think about, how is your audience actually finding people like you? Is it really through the mailers? Really? That's not the way that it works in my house. I don't know about yours. Another way would be foot traffic. So if you actually have a shop, people are going to be walking by it. So location, location, location. That's going to be the most important factor for you. Okay? But other than that, how else would you promote your business? Maybe put your logo in the back of local diner menus. I've never looked at the back of my local diner menu, and there's a lot of ads on it. There's also some ads on the brochure that I get at the church, right? There's also bulletin boards. There's things like that. You guys, nothing has the reach and the quality targeting that the online world has. that your Facebook ads would have, that your mailing list would have. Mailing list is right there, hot leads right away, that your website would have just by the fact that people are looking you up. Okay? So to me, if somebody asks me that same question, how much of an online presence do I need if I only want to have local in-person clients? You need as much of an online presence as anybody who's looking to have global clients. It's basically the same thing, because we're all the same people and we're all vetting services the same way, regardless of where they are located. So I guess the last thing that I wanted to leave you with was, after I've told you all of this on why you should market yourself online if you're a local business, why it matters, why people who don't have a good online presence will tell you that it doesn't matter, right? Why people who have a great online presence will tell you that it does. After I told you all of that, right? The next question I would have for you is, why keep it local? So one thing that I talk about a lot in my group is about really stepping into a much higher, bigger version of yourself. To not just stop at the obvious, right? If I provide Reiki energy for people in person, why wouldn't you start to step into being an industry leader in this, right? Go out and find stages to speak at about Reiki energy, right? Go out and provide a service online to people, maybe people who want to start around this path, who want to start providing this type of service, and you can guide them and mentor them to do that themselves. That's a global population right there. That's a whole untapped market for you. So another thing that you can do is provide a Reiki digital product, right? And that could be anything from information about what Reiki is. It could be how to start a business doing Reiki. There are so many things, and these are just off the top of my head. There are so many ways for you to have a product that is outside of your local market, while you still have a local presence and local clients. So just because you want to help a particular type of person doesn't mean that you can't allow your business to grow in a million other different ways, right? We are all a business. The businesses that are going to thrive are going to have multiple revenue streams. They don't just stop at the obvious. It's like I always talk about the example of knitting, right? If I ask someone, what is that thing that you love to do? And they say knitting, but I could never make money just knitting. I'm like, well, clearly not, right? There's only so much time in the day that you have to knit a product, to post it on Etsy and then maybe sell it for $5. You're not going to be making the big bucks there, right? But what about creating templates for knitting and selling them online? How about recording videos and teaching people how to knit, how to do different stitches, how to do something else online? Teaching people is a really, really powerful way to expand the breadth of your business. You don't just stop at the obvious. Knitting, make something and sell it. That's the obvious. What are all the other revenue streams that you can capitalize on by doing this thing that you love? Teaching others how to do it, teaching people something that they didn't know about, going on stage to conferences. I am sure there are marketing, multi-level marketing companies, MLMs, who are looking for speakers about knitting, right? What is the best yarn? There's so many opportunities for you to teach others about your thing that don't just stop at the obvious. And if you want your business to thrive, you will not stop at the obvious. All right. And that is another way that your online presence can help you, by tapping into a global market, by tapping into every single person in your country who is looking for this information. Because if you think about it, how to make a business that replaces your salary with only the people who live 10 miles away from you, right? In a 10-mile radius from you. That is really hard to do. But when you expand that universe, the opportunities are endless. That's why there's never such thing as a saturated market, because there's always someone out there who needs you, who doesn't know that you exist and doesn't know that any of your competitors exist, and that's your market right there. So I wanted to leave you with that. I didn't want to belabor that point because the question was about having in person clients, right? And I really hope that I answered that question. But my next level for you is don't stop there. Don't stop at the obvious. Keep thinking of ways to grow your business and to get new revenue streams. That's the way that your business is going to grow. Okay? So having said all of that, you guys should know that my program starts January 14th, with or without you. And by the end of March, a bunch of people are going to have their website. They're going to know how to market themselves online. All the stuff that I'm talking about is going to be targeted directly to them, right? We're going to be doing your market research so that you know exactly what your message is and who you're speaking to and how you should be speaking to them and how you should be targeting them, and start to grow that online presence so that by the end of the 3 months, you're ready to just go and get clients. And when people vet you, when people go online and they look you up, you are the most obvious choice in the market. That's what we do in the Be Found program. It's a new business bootcamp. It's work. So put on your high gear and let's do this. And I'm taking applications through December 31st. So go to inacoveney.com/apply, fill out a brief form that gets you into my calendar. We'll talk to see if this is the right spot for you, if this is the right thing for you at this time. And we will start in January. inacoveney.com/apply, but you have to spell Coveney right. It ends in EY. Okay? So how was this? Question number 1, check, answered. Come back tomorrow because we're going to tackle Maggie's question. Maggie asked, hey, listen, I am doing all these things to make money. I have a graphic design business. I have, all of these things that I am doing to make money on the side to complement my salary. Plus, I love animals and I love volunteering and I love taking care of them. It's so hard for me to think about just focusing on one thing and actually replacing my salary with one thing. I feel like I need all of these things. How do I get out of the hamster wheel and actually start to see progress? I have the answer tomorrow on question number 2. I will see you guys then and see you on my calendar when you apply for the Be Found program. All right. See you later, guys.